My cousin insisted I cater her entire wedding for free, saying it'll be great exposure for your business. When I declined, she rolled her eyes. Fine, I'll find someone better. So, I skipped the wedding entirely. The next morning, I woke up to dozens of missed calls. The food was a disaster. We need you now. I run a small catering business. Nothing huge, but I've built a solid reputation over 8 years. Started from nothing after culinary school, working 80-hour weeks to prove myself. Every client matters to me. My cousin Sabrina called 2 months before her wedding, all excited about her engagement to Henry. They seemed happy together. He was quiet, stable, everything she wasn't. I want you to cater the whole thing. She squealed into the phone. I smiled. That's wonderful. What's your budget? I can work with whatever you have. Oh, I was hoping you'd do it for free, as a wedding gift. I nearly dropped the phone. Free catering for 150 guests. That's $8,000 minimum, just in ingredients. Not counting 3 days of prep, my staff, equipment rental, and my time. I tried to be diplomatic. Sabrina, I'd love to help, but that's literally my livelihood. I can give you a family discount, maybe some cost-effective menu options. Her voice turned cold. You're being so selfish. This could be amazing exposure for your little business. Think of all the wealthy guests who will see your work. The dismissive way she said little business made my blood boil. I've catered for senators, celebrities, Fortune 500 companies. This wasn't some hobby. I'm sorry, but professional catering isn't free, I said firmly. She got nasty fast. Fine, whatever. I'll find someone actually good who appreciates the opportunity. That stung more than I expected. Someone actually good. Like, my 8 years of experience meant nothing. The family got weird after that. Usually, Sabrina's wedding would be the topic of every conversation. But suddenly, nobody mentioned it. My mom said Sabrina found an amazing caterer who's just as talented, but wouldn't elaborate. Wedding day arrived. I wasn't invited, probably punishment for not providing free labor. Honestly, I was relieved. Family weddings are exhausting, full of old grudges and forced small talk. I spent Saturday night actually relaxing for once. Ordered Thai food, opened a good bottle of wine, watched Netflix. First free evening I'd had in months during wedding season, then Sunday morning at 7 a.m. My phone started buzzing like crazy. Missed calls from Sabrina, her mom, my mom, even my aunt, all starting around 6 a.m. Just rapid-fire calling. Something was very wrong. I finally answered when my mom called for the 4th time. Oh, thank God, she said breathlessly. The wedding was a complete disaster. The food gave everyone food poisoning. Half the guests are in the ER. My stomach dropped. What happened? Turns out Sabrina found her better caterer on Craigslist. Some guy named Stanley, who quoted $1,200 for 150 people. Even I knew that was impossible. That wouldn't cover basic ingredients, let alone preparation and service. But Sabrina was determined to prove she didn't need me. She bragged to everyone about finding someone just as good for a fraction of the price. Stanley showed up 3 hours late to the reception venue. No uniform, no professional equipment, just a beat-up van filled with grocery store containers. The appetizers were gas station sandwiches cut into triangles. The main course was clearly expired potato salad and room-temperature deli meat. The wedding cake was a grocery store sheet cake with congratulations spelled wrong in blue frosting. Within an hour, guests started getting violently ill. The bathrooms were packed. Henry's grandmother had to be rushed to the hospital. The photographer left early because he couldn't stop throwing up. Sabrina was sobbing in her $3,000 dress while paramedics tended to her guests. That's when she started calling me, begging me to somehow save what was left of her reception. When I finally called her back, she was hysterical. Please, I'll pay whatever you want. Fine, I said, but I need to know what Stanley actually served. Sabrina went quiet. Too quiet. Sabrina? She finally whispered. He said you sent him. He had your business cards, your menu, everything. Someone had impersonated my company, and now my reputation was destroyed. But honestly, that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened that weekend. Because at the wedding I actually did attend 2 weeks later, my whole past came crashing back into my present in a way I never saw coming. See, I'd been invited to my college buddy Trevor's wedding. Nice guy. Met him freshman year. Stayed in touch over the years. The reception was at this fancy country club, open bar, live band, the whole deal. I was sitting at my table, nursing a beer and watching people dance when this guy sat down next to me. You look familiar, he said, squinting at me. Did you go to state? I nodded. Yeah, class of 2005. His face lit up. No way, me too. Harry Westfield. He stuck out his hand and we shook. You hang out with the engineering crowd? Pre-med, actually, I said. But I knew some engineering guys. We started talking, the usual where are they now conversation. He mentioned he got married right after graduation, had a daughter who was about to finish her sophomore year of college. I congratulated him, asked what she was studying. Biology, he said, pulling out his phone. She wants to be a surgeon. Actually, let me show you a pic. He handed me his phone, and I swear to God, my heart stopped. The girl in the photo was basically me. Same dark hair with the weird cowlick on the left side. Same crooked smile where the right side goes up higher than the left. Same brown eyes that are almost gold in certain light, even the same dimple on just one cheek. That's Jade, Harry said proudly, not noticing that I'd gone completely pale. She's brilliant, 3.9 gigapascals. Gets it from her mom, Betty. You might remember her? Betty Jameson? I handed the phone back with shaking hands. Oh, I remembered Betty. Betty was my girlfriend's sophomore year. We dated for 8 months before I found out she was cheating on me with some guy from her economics class. I broke up with her on the spot, blocked her number, avoided her completely until graduation. Yeah, I managed to say. I remember Betty. Small world, Harry laughed. We actually got together right after college. She was going through a rough breakup when we met at a mutual friend's party. The rest is history. My mind was racing. If Jade was a sophomore in college now, that meant she was born around 2005, 20 years ago, right around the time Betty and I broke up. How old is Jade? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She just turned 19 in March, Harry said. Why? March. I broke up with Betty in February 2005. The timeline was adding up in the worst possible way. She looks like someone I used to know, I said carefully. Actually, she looks exactly like me when I was her age. Harry laughed. Yeah, people say she doesn't look much like Betty or me. We joke that she's got recessive genes or something. Or she's not yours, I thought but didn't say. Instead, I asked, what happened with Betty's breakup? If you don't mind me asking. Harry's expression darkened. Some asshole cheated on her and left her heartbroken. She found out she was pregnant a few months later and thought it would be too painful to tell the guy, especially after how he treated her. I told her I'd raise the baby as my own. We got married before Jade was born. My hands were gripping my beer bottle so hard I thought it might shatter. She told you the guy cheated on her? Yeah, why? Because I dated Betty sophomore year, I said quietly. And she cheated on me. With a guy named Brad from her econ class. My friend Ashley took photos of them making out at Murphy's bar. That's why I broke up with her. Harry stared at me. That's not, Betty said. I have the photos still, I said. On my old laptop. I kept everything from college, old messages, receipts, dorm security logs, everything. And I was definitely not the one who cheated. Harry looked like he'd been punched in the stomach. He downed his entire whiskey in one gulp and stood up. I need some air. I followed him outside to the parking lot. He was pacing back and forth, running his hands through his hair. This doesn't make sense. Why would she lie about that? Because she got pregnant and needed someone to blame, I said. And I made it easy by cutting her off completely. She could tell you whatever story she wanted. Harry pulled out his phone again and stared at Jade's picture. She looks exactly like you. How did I never see it? You weren't looking for it, I said. But now that you know, you can't unsee it, right? He shook his head slowly. The crooked smile, the dimple, even the way she tilts her head when she's thinking. I thought those were just Jade things, but he looked at me. When did you break up with Betty? Exact date. I pulled out my phone and honestly, I still had my old college calendar app that I never deleted. Call me sentimental, but I kept all my old phones and data. February 18th, 2005. It was a Friday. Ashley showed me the photos around 3 p.m. between classes. Harry's hands were shaking so badly he dropped his phone twice while trying to calculate the dates. When it finally clicked that the timing matched my story perfectly, he sat down on the curb and put his head in his hands. Oh God. Oh my God. I'm sorry, man, I said, sitting next to him. I know this is a lot. Betty told me she found out she was pregnant in May, Harry said, his voice hollow. 3 months after you supposedly cheated and abandoned her. But if you broke up in February because she cheated, she could have gotten pregnant in February or early March, I finished. Before she even met you. I met her at a party in April, Harry whispered. She was crying, saying her ex destroyed her. I felt so bad for her. I wanted to be the guy who proved not all men are terrible. He laughed bitterly. Turns out I was just the guy who got played. I told Harry about Ashley showing me the photos of Betty with Brad at the bar. His face went pale. Ashley. Betty mentioned an Ashley from college. She said they were friends, but Ashley betrayed her trust, so she cut her off. I bet Ashley knew the truth about who cheated. Probably, I said. Betty was good at rewriting history. Harry admitted that Betty told him the pregnancy was a complete surprise and that she only found out 3 months after I supposedly cheated and abandoned her, but that meant she knew she was pregnant before she even met him. The whole foundation of their marriage was built on Betty's lies. I need to see proof, Harry said suddenly. The photos, the messages, anything. I pulled up my email on my phone and searched for Ashley's name. Found the thread from 2005. Look, the email had 3 attached photos. Betty and Brad at Murphy's bar, his arm around her waist. Betty and Brad kissing outside the bar. Betty and Brad getting into his car together. The timestamp on the photos was February 17th, 2005, the night before I broke up with her. Harry stared at the photos for a long time. That's definitely Betty. And that's definitely not you. No, it's not. She told me you were the one who couldn't keep it in your pants, Harry said. That you broke her heart and left her alone and pregnant. Everyone in her family believed that story. They hate you and they don't even know you. I showed Harry my old dorm security logs that proved Betty was escorted off campus twice after I broke up with her. Once for banging on my door at 2 a.m. screaming that we needed to talk. Once for following me to the library and causing a scene. The logs were dated February 24th and March 3rd. They directly contradicted her story about me being the one who cheated and abandoned her. She was obsessed with getting back together, I said. I had to file a complaint with campus housing to keep her away from my building. Harry stood up. I need to confront her. Right now. Whoa. Hey. I grabbed his arm. You're drunk and you're emotional. Maybe wait until you're sober and can think clearly. This conversation is going to change everything. I don't care, Harry said, yanking his arm away. My entire marriage is a lie. My daughter might not even be mine. I need answers now. He insisted he was fine and stormed back toward the reception hall. I followed him because honestly, I needed to see how this played out after 20 years of Betty's lies. We walked back inside and Harry went straight to Betty, who was laughing with her family at one of the tables. The second she saw his face and me standing behind him, her smile completely disappeared. Her eyes went wide and all the color drained from her face. Harry pulled Betty aside to a quiet hallway off the main reception area. I stayed close enough to hear him ask her point blank, "Did you lie about who cheated? 20 years ago? With Jade's father?" Betty's eyes darted to me with pure panic. What? No, I don't. Harry, you're drunk. Let's talk about this tomorrow. I'm not drunk enough to forget this, Harry said, showing her his phone. He showed me the photos. Betty, you were the one who cheated. With some guy named Brad. Betty tried to play it off by saying I was clearly drunk and making up stories to ruin her life. He's lying. He's bitter after all these years. That's all. You can't believe him. But Harry showed her the photos I sent him of my old security logs and the email from Ashley with the pictures of her and Brad. Then explain these. Explain why campus security had to escort you off his dorm property. Twice. Betty's face went from defensive to desperate as she realized Harry wasn't backing down. She started crying, mascara running down her face. I was young and scared and didn't know what else to do. Please, can we not do this here? We're doing this now, Harry said firmly. Is Jade mine? Betty went completely silent. I swear it felt like 30 seconds passed. Just this awful, heavy silence. Then she whispered, I don't know for sure. Harry looked like she'd slapped him. You don't know? I stepped forward. Her daughter has my exact features, Betty. Down to my crooked smile and the dimple on the wrong side. You know exactly whose daughter she is. Betty's face crumpled and she started sobbing harder. I didn't know what to do. I was pregnant and alone, and you wouldn't talk to me. She pointed at me. You blocked me everywhere. I couldn't tell you even if I wanted to. Because you cheated on me, I said. That's why I blocked you. I made a mistake, Betty cried. One mistake and you threw away 8 months like it meant nothing. You got pregnant by another guy, I said. That's a pretty big mistake. Harry asked why Betty never told him the truth about any of this. She broke down, saying she was terrified he'd leave her if he knew she cheated and got pregnant by another guy. You were so good to me. So perfect. I couldn't lose you. So you lied to me for 20 years, Harry said. About everything. Betty's mom walked over, concerned by all the commotion. What's wrong? Betty, honey, why are you crying? Harry turned to her. Did you know that the father of your granddaughter might not be me? That Betty cheated on her college boyfriend and got pregnant? Then lied and said he was the one who cheated? Betty's mom's face went white. She looked at Betty. What is he talking about? Betty begged Harry to stop, but he was done protecting her lies. He told Betty's mom everything while Betty stood there sobbing. When he finished, Betty's mom turned to me. Is this true? I nodded and showed her the photo of Jade next to a photo of me at the same age that I'd pulled up on Facebook. Even she couldn't deny the resemblance. The same, everything. It was like looking at a female version of myself. Betty's dad came over asking what was happening. Then her aunt. Then her brother. Within minutes, the wedding reception turned into a family crisis, with people whispering and staring at us. The bride looked furious that her special day was being ruined. Harry announced to Betty's family that he wanted a DNA test done immediately. I need to know the truth, all of it. Betty started hyperventilating, fanning herself with her hands. I can't do this right now. Not at Lauren's wedding. Please. But it was too late. The bride's mother, Betty's aunt, came over looking livid. She asked everyone to leave the reception. Actually asked all the guests to go home. The wedding basically ended early, as confused guests started filing out, grabbing their coats and purses, whispering about what drama could possibly be happening. Harry told Betty's family that if the test proved I'm the father, he wanted a divorce and full disclosure about what other lies Betty has told over the years. If she could lie about this for 20 years, what else has she lied about? Betty begged Harry not to tell Jade anything until they knew for sure. Please, she doesn't need to know. It'll destroy her. She has a right to know who her real father is, Harry said. And I have a right to know if I've been raising another man's child. He agreed they wouldn't tell Jade yet, but the test was happening first thing Monday morning. I'm calling a lab tonight. We're doing this. I gave Harry my phone number and told him to contact me when he was ready to set up the DNA test. Betty glared at me like I was the villain in all of this. Like I was the one who'd lied for 2 decades. This is all your fault, she hissed at me. You couldn't just leave the past alone. I didn't do anything, I said. I answered Harry's questions. You're the one who built your whole life on lies. Betty's younger brother, who used to call me his future brother-in-law back when Betty and I were dating, pulled me aside. I'm sorry, man, for believing her lies all these years. I always thought something was off about her story. The way she told it never quite added up. It's not your fault, I said. She was convincing. I drove home that night unable to sleep. My mind kept racing with the same thought over and over. I might have a 19-year-old daughter I never knew existed. A daughter who's been lied to her entire life about who her father is. A daughter who probably hates me because she thinks I'm the deadbeat who abandoned her mom. Monday morning, I got a text from Harry asking me to meet him at a DNA testing facility. When I arrived, Betty was already there, looking like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes were red and puffy, her hair was in a messy ponytail, and she was wearing sweatpants and an old college hoodie. She looked nothing like the put-together woman from the wedding. The technician took our samples. Quick cheek swab, filled out some paperwork, signed some forms. The whole thing took maybe 20 minutes. Results would be ready in 3 to 5 business days. The whole time, Betty sat in the corner staring at the floor. She wouldn't make eye contact with either of us. Harry told Betty they needed to prepare for how they're going to tell Jade regardless of the results. She deserves to know the truth. All of it. Betty broke down, sobbing into her hands. She'll hate me forever. She'll never forgive me. You should have thought about that 20 years ago, Harry said coldly. I asked what Jade's name was, even though I already knew. Harry said, Jade Marie Westfield. He showed me more photos of her. At the beach with friends, graduation from high school, first day of college. In every single photo, I could see myself. The way she smiled, the way she stood, even the way she held her head slightly tilted when she was being silly. 3 days later, on Wednesday afternoon, I got a call from Harry asking if I could meet him at a coffee shop. I knew from his voice what the answer was. He sounded exhausted, defeated, but also somehow relieved, like he'd been waiting for confirmation of something he already knew. I met him at this little cafe near his work. He was already there when I arrived, sitting at a corner table with a manila envelope in front of him. His hands were wrapped around a coffee cup, but he wasn't drinking it, just staring at the envelope. I sat down across from him and he slid the DNA test results across the table. 99.9% probability that I'm Jade's biological father. Right there in black and white. Official laboratory results. No room for doubt. I just stared at the paper, unable to process it. Even though I knew it was coming, even though Jade looked exactly like me, seeing it written down made it real in a way I wasn't prepared for. I confronted Betty with the results last night, Harry said quietly. She finally admitted she knew all along that you were probably the father. But she convinced herself I was because she wanted it to be true. She said she told herself the lie so many times she started to believe it. That's insane, I said. I know. Harry took a sip of his coffee. I asked her why she couldn't just tell me the truth when we first got together. She said she was afraid I'd leave her, that no guy wants to raise another man's baby. So she lied. I asked if Jade knew yet. Harry said no. They've been fighting about how to tell her. Betty wants to wait, maybe never tell her at all. But Harry thinks Jade deserves to know the truth immediately. I can't keep lying to her. She's an adult. She has a right to know. What do you want to do? I asked. Harry admitted that he's been Jade's dad for 19 years and he loves her more than anything. She's my daughter in every way that matters. I changed her diapers, taught her to ride a bike, helped her with homework, drove her to soccer practice. I was there for everything. But, I prompted. But I feel betrayed, Harry said. Betty lied to me. She manipulated me. Our entire marriage is based on deception. I don't know if I can stay with someone who could lie to my face for 2 decades. I told Harry I didn't want to disrupt Jade's life or take his place. You're her dad. You raised her. I'm just a stranger who happens to share her DNA. But I would like the chance to meet her and explain what really happened between me and Betty, if that's okay with you. Harry nodded. That's fair. You deserve that. And honestly, Jade deserves to know where she comes from. Her medical history, her genetics, all of it. 2 days later, on Friday afternoon, I got a message from an unknown number. Hi, this is Jade. My parents told me everything. Can we meet? I have questions. My hands were shaking as I typed back. Of course. Whenever you're ready. We agreed to meet at a park near her college campus on Saturday morning. I barely slept that night. What do you say to a daughter you never knew you had? How do you explain that you didn't abandon her? You just didn't know she existed? Saturday morning, I got to the park early. Sat on a bench near the fountain, watching people walk their dogs and jog by. Then I saw her walking toward me, and I swear, my heart stopped. In person, the resemblance was even more striking. She had my walk, this sort of loping stride where I lead with my left foot. She had my nervous habit of tucking her hair behind her ear every few seconds. When she saw me, she stopped dead in her tracks, just froze on the path, staring at me. I stood up and we just looked at each other for a moment. Then she walked over slowly and sat down on the bench next to me, leaving a good 2 feet of space between us. So you're him, she said. Her voice was shaky. You're my biological father. Yeah, I said. Jade sat there for a moment. Then the first thing she said was, my whole life feels like a lie. Everything I thought I knew about where I came from, who I am, it's all wrong. I only found out at the wedding, I said quickly. I had no idea you existed. I swear. If I'd known Betty was pregnant, I would've. I don't know what I would have done, but I wouldn't have just disappeared. She asked me to tell her my version of what happened with Betty. So I explained the whole story. How we met freshman year. How we dated for 8 months. How I thought everything was great until Ashley, my friend from biology class, showed me the photos of Betty with Brad at Murphy's bar. How I confronted Betty, and she tried to lie. Said it was just a friend. Said the photos were taken out of context. How I broke up with her anyway because I couldn't trust her anymore. I stayed in to study that night, I said. She told me she was going to study group, but she went to the bar instead. Made out with this guy. Got in his car. Ashley sent me the photos the next morning, and I broke up with her between classes. Jade started crying. Not loud, dramatic sobs, just silent tears running down her face. My mom told me you were the one who cheated. She said you abandoned us. I grew up thinking my biological father was a deadbeat who didn't want me. I'm so sorry, I said. I never knew. Your mom blocked me on everything. Moved on with Harry. I had no idea she was pregnant. She lied to me, Jade said, her voice getting angry. My whole life, she let me believe you were this terrible person. Do you know how many times I said I hated you? How many times I told people my biological father was a piece of trash? I showed Jade all the evidence I had. The security logs showing Betty was escorted off my dorm property twice. The old text messages where she begged me to take her back. The timeline proving she got pregnant right after cheating on me. The email from Ashley with the photos. Jade went through everything on my phone, reading the messages, looking at the timestamps, checking the dates. When she finished, she looked up at me with this expression I couldn't read. She lied to Harry too. She told him, "You cheated. She made you the villain so she could be the victim." Yeah, I said. That's what happened. Jade got angry. Really angry. She stood up and started pacing. I can't believe her. I can't believe she lied to me and Harry for almost 2 decades. What kind of person does that? Someone who is scared and desperate, I said. Not defending Betty, just stating facts. She was pregnant and alone. She made a choice. A selfish choice, Jade said. She robbed you of knowing me. She robbed me of knowing you. She built her entire life on a lie. Jade asked if I wanted to be part of her life now. I told her honestly that I needed time to process all of this. This is a lot for me too. I went from thinking I was just some guy at a wedding to finding out I have a 19-year-old daughter. But yeah, I'm open to getting to know you if you want that. I want that, Jade said immediately. I mean, I'm angry and confused and I don't even know how to feel right now. But you're my biological father. I want to know you. Over the next few weeks, Jade and I started meeting for coffee once a week. Just casual stuff, getting to know each other. I learned that she's studying biology, pre-med track, wants to be a surgeon, which is wild because I'm a doctor. Emergency medicine. We never planned it, but we apparently both ended up loving medicine. We talked about everything. Her favorite movies, her friends, her classes, what she wants to do after graduation. She asked me about my childhood, my family, why I became a doctor. It felt surreal, like we were trying to cram 19 years of missed time into hour-long coffee dates. One day she said, "You know what's weird? We have the same mannerisms. I organize everything by color, and apparently so do you. We both tap our fingers when we're thinking. We both hate mushrooms but love onions. It's like, genetics are crazy." Yeah, I said. It's pretty wild. Meanwhile, Harry filed for divorce from Betty. He cited fraud and emotional manipulation in the paperwork. Betty's entire family sided with Harry because they were disgusted by how long she maintained the lie. Her own parents told her they were ashamed of her. Her brother stopped talking to her. The whole family basically disowned her. Betty tried to reach out to me through mutual friends, asking me to convince Jade to forgive her. She sent messages saying she made a mistake. She was sorry. She just wanted her daughter back. I blocked her on everything. She had 20 years to tell the truth. I wasn't going to help her fix what she broke. Jade asked if she could stay with me for a few weeks while her parents sorted out the divorce. She said she couldn't stand being around her mom right now. Every time I look at her, I just see all the lies. I can't do it. I set up my spare bedroom for her, bought new sheets, cleared out the closet, made sure she had space to spread out and feel comfortable. It was strange having someone else in my apartment after living alone for so long, but also kind of nice. Living with Jade was surreal because we have the same mannerisms, the same sense of humor, the same habit of organizing everything by color. She'd do something and I'd think, I'd do that exact same thing. We both put our left shoe on first. We both crack our knuckles when we're nervous. We both sing in the shower. Badly. It made me realize how much I missed. All those little moments that make up a person.